Hello everybody, today we are going to have a quick look at an update that's been released for Omnisphere. It was quite a silent update, I didn't realise until I booted it up the other night, and it said, when we go to this wonderful page when you first load up, where it says you are up to date, it says basically we're updates, so I thought, oh, let's go and check them out. And some useful, well, there's one big update for me, especially if you play live, but let's just quickly go through them. Apparently there's been an update for the AAX plugin for native Apple Silicon compatibility, and the main thing for me is when you are playing live, sometimes you've got to sit here and go, right, I want that on channel 1, I want that on channel 3, and you've got to remember, if you've got multiple keyboards, what channel they're actually transmitting on. But what happens if you just want everything to play all at once and not have to worry about all these setting channels? What I'm on about here is channel 1, I've got a pad here and I've got a pad on channel 2. So channel 1 is playing this, and then I've got to go to channel 2 here, change that to channel 1, I'll just mute that so you can hear it, to get it to play that. And so I've got to literally go set each of these to channel 1. Now what you can do now is at the bottom there's a new option that says any. So if I set these two to any, I play both parts, which is really handy because it saves then trying to work out, hang on, is my MIDI control transmitting on channel 1, is it on channel 2, is it on channel 3, I can't remember. Just set it to any, and then that particular controller you're using will play any channel on here set to any. You can then say, right, well, I want all these to any, but then if you've got another MIDI controller, you can say, well, and I know that's on channel 2, I'll set that to channel 2. And so you can split this whole screen up. So absolutely fantastic. We also have a fixes where the plugin output could become muted after loading multiple DAW projects in a row. So if you say in Cubase, you open a project, then you go into another project and you're saying, oh, make that one live, then open another project and make that one live without actually closing it, then sometimes you get an output issue and it just cuts off for some strange reason. That's apparently fixed. There's some timing issues have been fixed in the arpeggiator when the solo mode is enabled, and the host buffer size was set to large. So if I the host buffer, that will be your actual, let me go and bring mine up. So if I've got this on here, properties, and I've set my, oh sorry, wrong screen, I'll tell you what, we'll just show you on here, it'll be easier. Save me faffing around, go to settings. On here we have, so if I set my audio buffer size to stupid amounts like 512 samples, then you can sometimes get a bit of a problem. So that's been fixed. There's been fixes with the modulate with orb option in the right click contextual menu. It didn't sometimes work. I've experienced that now and again, and I've had to sort of disable the modulation and re-enable it. So what I'm saying, what he's saying here is, if I'd go to res there and go, right, I want to modulate with orb. So if I go to the orb now, sometimes that wouldn't work. It does help if I engage the orb, doesn't it? Turn it on. And just stick an Earnshaw on. So now it's working. Now sometimes when I did this modulate, it didn't actually, nothing actually happened. So what you'd have to do then is go into that and say unmodulate, and then modulate, remodulate, orb, and then it'll sometimes pick it up. So at least that's been fixed. There's been a fix to the patch dirty indicator, so it could incorrectly disappear after using the undo command. So the patch dirty, that little asterisk here, which means something's changed, and it's sort of like an alert to you that before you move to the next patch, you might want to save it. Now, if I undid and did undo the last thing, what I did, then what will happen, I can't remember where it is on here, because I usually use the sort of shortcut of Command Z, and it'll just undo it. It will change that asterisk and get rid of it, so you wouldn't think you've changed anything. So that reminder, that's been fixed. If you've got the Sonic extension, apparently the Seismic, I've only just got this actually, but Seismic pump, so it improves the trigger button behavior mode when mode equals triv invert and loop is off. So when that's on, it's fixed that, so it improves that. The pump effect also is fixed an issue with triv invert. Can't even say that. Triv invert. So I think that is a typo there, because it should be trig invert, not triv invert. Mode where the envelopes were re-triggered by incoming MIDI note events. So that's been fixed. If you're on a Mac, it also fixes issues where the folder file in Steam could not contain a backslash character. I've never actually used a backslash character in any of my patch names or anything like that, but apparently if you do, that's been fixed, so we're okay. And on a standalone, the flow capture feature did not record the metronome tempo changes. So if you were doing flow capture and you changed your tempo partway through, it didn't always capture it. Now that has been fixed, so there we go. If you haven't done already, head over to your account on Spectrasonics.net, download your update, and off we go. And I will catch you in the next one. Oh, and before we go, don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, found it helpful, subscribe to the channel, ding that bell, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see what else we can do with Omnisphere in the future. Take care for now.